I ripped this out of the New York Post over the weekend, and I wanted to talk to you about it. It's called Megan's dad check, and this is basically the head and the readout, which is Meghan Markle not inclined to see sick father over the holidays. Instead, she and Harry are going to jet off for some luxe vacation on some island somewhere with a bunch of other famous people, allegedly for New Year's. That's what she's going to be doing.
Yeah, shocking. It's got to the point where it's almost comical now. It's so funny to me that somebody who still insists that they've got a brand based on compassion and they value family and relationships and all this stuff that they spout, and they do the opposite. I think it goes back to that saying, Maureen, it's not what people say, it's what they do. And if you watch their actions, it explains exactly who these two are. And maybe I'll be bold enough to predict, Maureen, that next year we might be talking a little less about them. Maybe the bubbles burst. My reporting was that William no longer has any intention to strip them of the Sussex title not because he's been kind, but the title's worthless. The Sussex brand now doesn't mean anything. They're not going to get any more deals. It's over. What would you do if you were a Sussex? What could I do with that brand? Pretty much nothing.
Wow. So that, with narcissists, and I do believe I believe she's a malignant narcissist. He's definitely a narcissist, but bad attention is absolutely fine. If you can't get good attention, attention is attention, but no attention. So the notion that William won't even be bothered to strip them.
It's really rough. It's really rough. That and if you think about it, a lot of my British friends work in the palace. I have great royal sources. I'm from Britain. I know London, and so my sources tell me, and I think this is really, really smart, is that if he strips them, he'll just look like a petty brother. He'll look petty. If he doesn't strip them and ignores them, that's actually more cruel. It's worthless. What is that brand worth? And that's their own fault. This was $1 billion brand. This was a brand that potentially could have been enormous, and they've squandered it. So I think that they don't need William to come along and cut them. They've done it themselves. What's that expression, Maureen? I love it. Give them enough rope to hang themselves.
Yes.
I think this is a perfect example. And they've hung themselves, and the Sussex brand too.
Yes, and the way you just said that, Rob, so elegant. So you're relishing it. We're both just like dying over here. But we were reporting last week, or I was talking to Kinsey about this. Harry has been making like corporate speeches for like a few $100K a pop.
Yeah.
This is a very, very grim way of making money for a former top royal.
Oh, absolutely. This is what Real Housewives do. This is what people on shows in the 70s do. This is what Tara Reid is doing. Like, this is what they're doing. Harry is going to be doing this less and less because he's going to be booked less and less. He's going to earn less and less. There's no return for this. And it happens often in celebrity lives. Debbie Gibson used to play the Madison Square Garden, and now she's doing small theatres. It's sort of like a natural progression. It's very, very rare to have a career that sustains that much unless you're a member of the royal family. That is meant to last forever. They've squandered it. They've absolutely squandered it. They're going to get less and less bookings. When they first came over here, they tried to hire the same agent as Barack Obama. They wanted $1 million a speech. They thought they were going to be part of this lecture circuit, which does exist out there, Maureen. I've seen people, I know people who've gone on this circuit.
No, I know it does, but just the idea that they think they're on the level of a former US president is delusional.
Yeah, they thought when Oprah played The Garden and charged, $80, $100 a ticket, they thought they were that. They thought they could sell out The Garden, talking about not really quite what she will want, but chitter-chattering away. And no, they're not going to get those speeches now. And also, too, I was talking to some book publishers. With my book coming out, I've become quite intimate in this world. I've really got to learn a lot about it. And I asked them all about Meghan and Harry, and they've said it was a one-shot deal. He told all. His spare made him a lot of money. It was a huge success. It's over. And the reason Meghan has not had a book is not because she's a good, clean, decent person and she doesn't want to gossip. She's not been offered the money she wants. A Meghan Markle book is now, because of her recklessness, almost worthless. She's told all her secrets. All her stories have been told. She gave them away for free on Oprah Winfrey. What else is she going to tell us? And so the appetite, the demand for this couple, and I say it with some pleasure as a Brit, some pleasure as somebody who they thoroughly annoy, but I say it with such heartbreak as a reporter. They have kept me in business this year. I was looking back over my Substack and I was seeing the sort of numbers I get. Meghan's always up there. People the last year were listening, but I think it's coming to an end. I think it's coming to an end.
Rob, before we abandon Meghan Markle to move on to other celebrity reprobates, just my opinion, what do you think a divorce memoir could get Meghan? Do you have a sense of how the publishing marketplace would react to that?
That's the only card she has left to play. We don't want to hear about this life in Montecito. We don't want to hear lies about how successful her businesses. We don't want to hear chapter and chapter about making jam. That's what she'll do. We know this. We know celebrities who have got book deals, and you have a word minimum. You have to do 60,000 words.
At least.
And so one chapter is always them just describing what's in their bag, and they're just clearly filling space.
Yep.
And they're just clearly, when one word would do, they use fives. And
Yes.
that's what Meghan's TV show felt like to me. And that's what a book would be like, unless it was about the divorce. A really witty friend of mine said, with Meghan, it feels like every minute on that TV show has an extra 20 seconds. Like it just goes on and on and on. It rambles on. And so I think the only story that she has left to tell is a story that hasn't happened yet. But if they got divorced and she was honest, that's the thing too with her. You can't rely on her to give you the unvarnished truth. She's very, very controlling. And so I think she would have to get somebody, a writer there that she listened to, and she hasn't. She hired really good people around her Sussex brand. They all got fired or they quit. Nobody is left around her. I found out that all this drama with her dad, her publicists were not really involved. She involved the Netflix PR. It was people that worked at Netflix that were firing off nasty emails to reporters. And so it was so interesting that once again, Meghan's as upset. The real moneymaker in her life, which is Netflix, they don't want to be involved in this. The Netflix publicists want to look after the executives and they want to get viewers for their television shows, for their streaming shows. They don't want to act as Meghan's personal publicists about her dad, but she got them involved because A, not smart, and B, she has nobody else left. There's no one around them anymore.
Wow. I mean, if I'm Meghan, I'm calling the crisis manager that Kerry Washington's character in Scandal was based on. That's who I'm calling. I'm going to tell you about a new documentary that I've recently watched. It's called Thank You, Dr. Fauci, and it is a deep dive into the origins of COVID-19, a potential bioarms race with China, and what could be the biggest public health deception in modern history. Award-winning filmmaker Jenna Furst pores over documents and grills scientists, intelligence experts, and whistleblowers. This is not a left-wing or a right-wing film. It is a film about accountability. This is a compelling investigative work. It is urgent, it is unsettling, eye-opening, and is now streaming on Angel Studios. It is a must watch. If you have ever wondered, as all of us do, what really goes on behind closed doors, you will not want to miss this. Most alarming, the layers of institutional secrecy and the courage it takes to challenge those. Angel Studios is the only platform bold enough to release this, thanks to Guild members who vote on real stories. It's already available on Angel, so be ready to watch, question, and share. If you are ready to demand transparency, join the Angel Guild at angel.com/nerve. Become a member. Stream Thank You, Dr. Fauci, and be part of the conversation demanding truth and accountability.